Welcome to the EFS Modernization Project training video series. This video covers the SR child provider enrollment process. So now eligibility has been assigned for this child. We have a current authorization period of 12 months. We're going to enroll the child with a provider. We're going to click on the enroll button, and there are no current enrollments for this child, so we're going to add an enrollment. And we'll see here that this is the provider that the parent selected in the eligibility verification wizard on the family portal. So we want to select that provider, and we'll see that information shows up. This provider has a contract, and here's some additional information. As a coalition user, if you wanted to get more details about this provider, you could take their information, their profile ID, and do a search for this provider in EFS Mod. For the sake of this enrollment, we're going to continue on. The authorized unit of care that the parent has to pay for is part-time. We see both the full-time and part-time. We show both of these for in the cases where during the summer when the copay will flip from part-time to full-time care, the parent will be made aware of what both payments are. So during the school year, it's going to be $125. During the summer, it'll be $250. We're going to put the anticipated start date as tomorrow's start date, or today's, or either date works. We can put the anticipated start date as long as the anticipated start date is not prior to the eligibility start date. So we're going to say it's for today. If this child was in school, a calendar will be required. So we're going to pick a school calendar. We're going to pick what the unit of care is supposed to be on days, on holidays and school breaks during the school year. This child will need part-time care on those days as well, and during the school year it's going to need part-time care, and we fill these in as well. So we're just going to say part-time every day. So we filled in a unit of care per day for this child, and we're going to say that the coalition is going to enroll this child on the provider's behalf. The coalition has an option. They can send this request, this enrollment request, to the provider by selecting this option. And what it does is it puts the request in the provider's enrollment queue. They have 5 days to review and accept or reject. If they don't accept or reject within 5 days, their request will be rejected for them back to the coalition, and the coalition will have to either reach out to that provider or request enrollment from a new provider. But for the sake of this testing, we're going to say that the coalition has already spoken to the provider. They've already confirmed that they have a slot available for this child, and the coalition is going to enroll this child on the provider's behalf. We're going to do that and hit save. And we see that we have an enrollment that is pending the family acceptance. What this means is that the family still has a part to complete. They're going to have to log back into the family portal and complete the terms and conditions and sign the payment certificate before the enrollment is complete. So right now, this provider has a slot that is being held for a child, but the enrollment is not finished until the parent agrees to the enrollment terms and to the copay amounts. We're going to add the functionality to this section that will allow the user to get back into this enrollment and make any edits to it. Right now, we're not able to make any edits. So once you hit save and you see this screen, you can't hit like an edit button or a view button to see all the details. For instance, like the school calendar that the child is assigned to, or the unit of care per day. But we're going to add buttons that will allow the user at any point to get back into this enrollment and make changes to it if changes are necessary. Next step will be for the family to log into the family portal and view the terms and conditions and sign the payment certificate. So I'm going to show you that now. So now we're back on the family portal, and for the sake of testing, we can see this little testing only box showed up that's going to have this link in it for this child. Once we get the family portal redesigned, this information will display on the child record, but for now it's going to show up here. This link is going to take us to the terms and conditions and payment certificate for this child, this specific child's enrollment, not for both children, just this one child. So we click the link, and once we click that child's name, on the link for the child's name, we're going to see the parental rights and responsibilities, terms and conditions display. It's going to be for tulip flowers, we show her birthday, and the parent. And we want the family to go through and read these terms and conditions and check the boxes. We know it's a lot to read, but we want to ensure that they have read and understand before they agree to the next screen, which will be the payment certificate. So once they read, they check the boxes, and the boxes will collapse. They can click accept. Once they accept the terms and conditions, the payment certificate is now visible. This payment certificate is going to be enhanced to show more information, like the unit of care per day, with both co-pays will be the full-time and part-time, and information that is not necessary, such as rates, will be removed from this view. It's going to be part-time daily or full-time daily, not part-time weekly or full-time weekly. So that's going to be fixed as well. And if you noticed any spelling errors in the terms and conditions or here on the payment certificate, just know that those have been identified and will be corrected as well. As a family, once they agree, they can check the box and they have to enter in their name. They click yes, and then they hit submit. Before they submit, they have to accept again. And once they do that, their enrollment is done. They are now enrolled with this provider. They can begin attending under the SR funding, and they can now print this payment certificate if they need to. If not, they don't have to print it. It'll always be present there on their family portal account for this child. The provider will also get a copy of this payment certificate once the family has signed it, and the coalition will have a copy for this child on this child's record, as indicated here. So once that family submits it, the coalition user can log back into this child's enrollment and view the payment certificate.